The night air in Northern California carried a chill. In the late 1960s, the back roads stretching between small towns and open fields became refuges for young couples looking for privacy. Radios played softly, engines ticked as they cooled. It was the kind of peace people trusted. Until one evening, someone began a journey of murder, mayhem, and indescribable fear. He would give himself a name and a symbol, a crosshair, simple and unforgettable. The man who called himself the Zodiac Killer didn't just commit murder, he announced it, he cultivated it. Fear, to him, wasn't just part of the crime, it was the reason for it. On December 20th, 1968, teenagers David and Betty Lou parked along a lonely road near Vallejo. Sometime before midnight, gunfire tore through the cold. Betty Lou was found outside the car. David lay inside. There were no witnesses or no clear suspect, just the terrifying realization that something random and merciless had stepped out of the dark and just as quickly went back into it. For months, the case lingered without answers. Then, on the 4th of July, 1969, it happened again. Darlene and Michael sat in a parked car at Blue Rock Springs. Another vehicle pulled in behind them. The driver waited. Minutes passed, thick with uncertainty, the couple anxious, but too anxious to take any action out of fear. He approached and opened fire. Michael survived long enough to describe fragments. A man, stocky, controlled, returning to shoot again as if finishing a task. An hour later, a man phoned police to report the crime. Eerily calm and measured, he also claimed responsibility for the earlier murders. It was the first time investigators heard the voice of the person who would soon terrify an entire region. Weeks later, letters arrived at newspaper offices. They were signed with the crosshair and a name, Zodiac. He demanded his words be printed on the front page. He included ciphers, boasting that they revealed his identity. One message, eventually decoded, carried a chilling confession. He enjoyed killing because it was more thrilling than hunting animals. The rest of the puzzles refused to give him up. With publication came panic. More fear spread throughout the region as everyone worried they could be next. The fear compounded exponentially. People changed routines. Couples reconsidered secluded spots. The killer seemed to be everywhere and nowhere, a phantom fed by headlines. Every printed letter amplified him, transforming a criminal into an omnipresent threat. In September 1969, at Lake Berryessa, a new horror unfolded. A hooded figure approached Brian and Cecilia in broad daylight. The costume bore the crosshair symbol. He bound them, spoke quietly, then stabbed them before walking back to his car and writing dates of previous attacks on the door. Cecilia would not survive. Brian would. The escalation stunned investigators. This was no longer a distant shooter in the night. This was intimate, deliberate. Like a tiger stalking its prey, the whole city felt its grip. Then, in October, in the city of San Francisco, cab driver Paul Stein picked up a passenger. At the destination, the passenger shot him, took part of his shirt, and vanished into the neighborhood. Teen witnesses watched. Patrol officers passed near the suspect. Somehow, impossibly, he slipped away. More letters followed, some containing pieces of Stein's shirt to prove authenticity. The Zodiac mocked the police, threatened school buses, and promised more death. Each envelope felt like a hand reaching through the mail slot, reminding everyone he was still out there, and he was still in control. Years turned into decades. Task forces formed, dissolved, and formed again. Suspects captured public attention, then unraveled under scrutiny. Advances in forensics offered hope, but never closure strong enough to end the debate. What remains is the echo of that fear, and of lives lost too soon. Families waited for answers that never fully came. Detectives carried the weight of a face they could almost see, but never name. And the crosshair symbol settled permanently into American true crime history. And the man himself may still yet be out there, or long gone, with his secret taken to the grave. With more modern advances in DNA and forensic science, Perhaps one day the world will finally know the true identity of the Zodiac. Subscribe to Illuminate Stories for more tales where history meets legend and myth becomes reality. Don't forget to like, share, and hit the bell to stay illuminated.